Robbie K back with another movie review, this time on the incredible combination of a spy thriller and comedy. Yes, today we are attempting to rehash the genre after what happened with Melissa McCarthy and Spy. And this review is a shout out to my buddy Rashad, who ended up going and seeing with the movie with me, and really having a good time with him as we laughed our heads off at it. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start with another Robbie's movie reviews. So, you know the formula? Let's dive right in. When it comes to a spy thriller that's a comedy, sometimes it doesn't always work out. Sure, spy thrillers have been known to put that really nicely timed joke or delivery in it, aka like Mission Impossible, but Mission Impossible isn't so much a comedy. In fact, one of the more recent films that tried this combination was, of course, the movie Spy, with Melissa McCarthy, Rose Byrne, Jude Law, and who knows who else. In regards to the action thriller comedy genre. Now, it was an okay film, and for yours truly, there are parts that were great, but as my friend Rashad and I both agreed, there are parts that were really overdone, and some people surprised you while others got tired. It's part of what happens when you have as many movies as comes out today. But regardless, that was what made us concerned about what could have happened with the spy thriller. You have those good comedies, and if you're one of those that you can't get enough of just one gimmick, then that was what that movie was. But for someone looking for a little more flavor and variety, Spy didn't quite deliver on that aspect. So naturally, I wasn't too excited about this one coming in, because the trailers pretty much looked like they were doing one gimmick and one gimmick alone. But is that the case? No, that's where I'm coming in to give you my thoughts. Hi, it's Robbie K coming back in for Robbie's movie reviews. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, stage one is pretty much our quick, simple review, as you know. And pretty much, this movie surprised me with how much fun and enjoyment I had. Yes, I have to agree with my friends Courtney and Jen, who also saw it from a different perspective. It is a movie that is super fun at times and really hits the nail on the head. But for the most part, it's a very enjoyable one that's going to really play to the interest of many people. It's got slapstick, it's got fun delivery, it's got witty and stupid dialogue and writing, and it is just a ridiculous adventure that somehow turns out to be fun. In addition, it's a very engaging ride, a very thrilling ride, and that's not something you usually get with a comedy sometimes. So I was very happy with the nice balance of excitement meeting the humor and fanatics with it. Now you might be looking at it and thinking, okay, cool. But what does that mean and more? Well, that's where stage two's coming in. But it's definitely got a wide variety of jokes and comedy and kind of genre-bending action to really have a lot of fun with it. In regards, I will have to admit that I agree with both sides of the party. This is definitely a little more targeted towards kind of the female audience group. But it doesn't mean that it's exclusive to them, because there's a lot of good guy humor in there too. But it is definitely curtailed to the women. And, I mean, that's no surprise, seeing as the two leads are very, very strong, very engaged women who are fantastic actresses, as well as fantastic kind of political people as well. Let's not go down the political avenue, even though this is a spy government thriller. Anyway, overall, you'll definitely have a lot of fun with this, and this may be the movie I recommend the most of the three in terms of the general audience who's going to have fun with it. We'll talk more in kind of the stage two, but recommended audiences are definitely looking for girls' nights out. Could be a fun date movie, or it could just be, if you're like me and my buddy Rashad, you're just looking for something to laugh your head off at. So, there's a good variety and blend into there. Anyway, when it comes to the scores, I'm going to have to say in its category of kind of, and I might have forgotten to rank this, but action in regards to its action and genre of comedy, spy thriller, and action, gonna have to probably give it an 8 in its category, whereas the movie overall is probably about a 7, to be honest. Anyway, that's Robbie's stage 1 review. If you're done with it, have a good day. Otherwise, we're going to stage 2 to really pick apart the movie a little more. Again, with stage 2, we start with likes. Start out on a positive foot, and then we look at where we can improve from there. In terms of the likes, the chemistry between the two women of Mila Kunis and Kate McKinnon was fantastic. You see the interviews, you see the promotions, and it feels and flows very naturally as almost these two are best friends in real life. Now, I don't go celebrity stalking, and I haven't done all my research on celebrity relationships, but hot dog, they rocked it. Absolutely loved the banter, the wit, the sisterhood that was there. You believe they're best friends. And it was just fun. They did a great chemistry together, and that was the source of much of the enjoyment of the movie. In addition to that, the secondary characters that interacted with them, it kind of felt pretty natural as well. Yeah, there's a little bit of stage magic cheesiness to it, like a Hallmark movie, but at the same time, it wasn't forced, it wasn't pushed, and even though the characters were ridiculous, it really worked in the grand scheme of the sisterhood relationship. So bravo there. The next thing is that it's a pace that is just very engaging. There's very few slow parts, and even though there's a lot of like drawn out banter, it's not like one of those movies that just gets fixated for 10 minutes on one banter, foregoing the whole story and just to do a comedic gimmick in it. So bravo at whoever wrote the pacing of the story and came up with the ideas to have some fun at these parts, but making sure to continue progressing the plot. So bravo, because that was also a part that was very fun and engaging with it too. In addition, you have, in terms of the comedy itself, a good blend of writing. And again, I love the multiple avenues that you can go down with a comedy because they did a great variety. Again, slapstick, over dramatic delivery, suspensive relief and stupidity, perfect timing comedy. You have witty comedy. You have stupid one-liners that are going to repeat it in a lot of other things. And, of course, plenty of scenes that are going to probably end up being memes. Absolutely loved the writing of the style for most part. And I just had a lot of fun with it because that was just a very fun movie in terms of that. In addition, I'm not going to lie, both Kate and Mila Kunis had some very stylish outfits at parts of the movie. Not the whole thing, but parts of the movie. And I really hope we get to see blonde Mila Kunis because she was so beautiful in that style. I guess it might have been the shortcut itself, but I'm kind of going down a different path. But still, there are parts where people are going to enjoy. And while the outfits may not be the most stylish, what people should enjoy is the fact that the outfits feel very appropriate for the moods of the various scenes, which of course is the ridiculous fun comedy aspect. Story-wise, yeah, there's plots. You have to do suspensive belief at some points. But the story is actually decently well, given it is a spy thriller and a comedy, so kind of that spoof. So, 2 thumbs up, because the story is actually not that bad, which will keep you kind of roped in. Where the relationship is kind of the central focus, the story is very well built into it to include both of them and just make it a lot of fun. So, awesome job there, guys. But of course, something else that was very surprising is how much of an action movie this was, too. Now, I'm not talking, it's the most stylish and the most engaging. It's not, like, for me, Lord of the Rings battles, Star Wars battles. It's nothing like that. But at the same time, it's very exciting in regards to the action fits with the comedy. It's about spy work, and it's not just a spy like, Mr. Bean or one of those goofy ones that's just meant to be accidental prone luck. That's what the girls do. But man, the other guys have some awesome stunts, some awesome action points, and it works big time. So bravo there in regards to managing to blend that, make it an exciting movie on that aspect, and absolutely enjoy the comedy that goes with it because it's built in. Overall, the movie surprised the heck out of me of how much it had in it and incorporated. But at the same time, there are a few dislikes I do have with it. So let's get to going with it. Number one is that there are times where the ridiculousness went a little too far. I'm not saying over the top, but I'm just saying that sometimes they got a little stuck in their vortex and had to kind of suspend the belief. And in fact, ironically, I'm not remembering anything I wrote yesterday in terms of it. So you can definitely tell I was tired and not my best work with that. Regardless, the ridiculous points sometimes happen a little too much, and you're sitting there wondering, like, okay, how much more do I have to suspend that these people can't track them due to Kate McKinnon's character sometimes too muchness, I guess is how I'm going to describe it. So, it's all right there. I definitely agree with my friends Jen and Courtney. It was predictable out the wazoo. We had a few people in the audience that Rashad and I were sitting with who were surprised, but for me, I mean, if you know the camera techniques, the story development techniques of Hollywood, you're going to see a lot of stuff coming a mile away. Maybe not in terms of jokes, because again, they did a really nice job there. But in terms of the story plot element, it's predictable, and that part takes a little away from it. In regards to some of the action components, as much as I love them, I have to warn that those who are a little squeamish slash don't like torture slash some blood, you need to be warned. It's not the most grotesque thing to ever come out. We have plenty of movies that defy that spectrum, but it's also not necessarily as kid-friendly appropriate as well. So if you get the urge to want to bring your kids while a women's night is out, you might want to rethink it, to be honest. We're talking some more adult themes on that aspect. In regards to it, I can't tell how I feel about the... if you've seen the trailer, you know that there is another woman who is hired to kind of pursue them. And I don't know how I felt about it. I think at times they did a really nice job with her, but at other times I felt that it was just used for the comedic ploy. And again, I get that that's what comedies do, but at the same time, she was a little too fleshed out not to have a better story to kind of go down another route, I guess. And I guess that brings me to other characters that were introduced. There were some plot elements that they were thinking about pursuing, and it's not that they were awful. It's just, for the suspense and build-up they tried to do, it didn't work for me. I'm just being honest there. There were parts that could have been left out, because it just felt like they went down some tangents that really weren't needed. In addition, there are some times where they, again, get fixated on a joke gimmick, a running joke that gets a little stale at times. But I can't even say that's a major dislike, because they still managed to curb it back. Outside of a couple of Kate McKinnon's character quirks, which one I really liked, and the other is okay, because by that point you really have to suspend your belief. But again, I'm rambling. Regardless, the dislikes are actually fewer than I thought it was, because they did keep it in nice retrospect. So bravo there. So let's kind of get down to the finale of it. The truth is that The Spy Who Dumped Me turned out to be much better than I intended. Probably because I went in with lower expectations. But it really is a nice blend of action and comedy. So you're going to get your money's worth if you're going out there just to have a good laugh, a good rambling, and be happy with the fact that there is a plot-driven comedy again. It's not just about the gimmicks. The two leads are really what are the source of this, and whoever directed, wrote, and built these scenes around them did a fantastic job incorporating their personalities into the film, and really just building upon that to make a very entertaining movie that is both, that is not only deeper, but at the same time very entertaining. So bravo, guys, and hopefully we can come up with a new, again, another champion film if you decide to do a sequel, because there is scenes that are open with it. Again, there are some dislikes in the terms of sometimes the balance is lost, the proportions are needing work. There's a couple of story elements that didn't necessarily need to be there, but, outside of that and the predictability, the movie turned out to be a very fun time. Of course, it's not the groundbreaking movies that we've seen with high-tech stuff, and, thinking about it again, it's probably an 8 in terms of its category. I'll agree a 6.5, a 7 is probably a fair movie overall rating. But your key audiences are just very expanded on the fact that there are girls who should enjoy this movie. There are guys who should enjoy this movie, and it's just a fun laugh at the theater. So overall, definitely encouraging you to go see it in theaters. I feel that this is probably the best of the 3 that I've seen so far. And we'll see if we try to do another one with the artistic film 8th Grade. but I can't necessarily promise that since I've got a few coming up next week. Anyway, Robbie K signing off for right now, potentially for the rest of the weekend. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Please, please, please like, share, and help me improve the channel, as I said in my other video. I can't do this without you guys kind of encouraging me. I've tried to study the best I can, but given everything else to balance, it's sometimes difficult to do all that. So I need ideas of movies and other topics you'd like in terms of entertainment, and we'll go from there. Have a great one, guys. Thanks again. Peace.